Hi everybody, I have another finger puppet tutorial to share with you today. I made two Little Red Riding Hood finger puppets, and if you want to see the other one that I made, you can click here for that tutorial. So otherwise, let's get started making this one for today. So you're going to need a finger puppet base and some felt and some wool yarn for the hair, and I picked up all these things from achildsdream.com. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by cutting lengths of this black wool yarn to make the hair, and if you don't want to buy online, you definitely can buy at a local craft store. And I'm also using a glue gun to glue this all down. I find that it works really well, it's very durable, and it's a lot faster than using a wet glue. But you do have to be careful not to burn your fingers. My children do use, well, my 9-year-old rather, he uses the glue gun and he's careful with it, so it's okay. So I'm going to use these little scraps here to make her bangs. Because on the previous one that I made, she didn't have bangs, and I found that it was a little bit harder to put the hood on when there were no bangs, just for positioning and making it not look like she has a bald head. So I'm going to work on making her dress and her cape before I work on the hood. I find the hood a little bit challenging, but at the same time, I need to have the cape in place in order for me to glue the hood onto the cape. So this is the second one that I made in the course of, say, about a half an hour. The first one took about 20 minutes to make, and this one took about 11 minutes to make. And that's just because once I figured out how to make the hood, which really kind of held me up, I could do the second one a lot faster. My problem now is that I have run out of red felt. So this is the only piece that I have left. So her cape is going to be quite a bit smaller, and I just barely have enough to make her hood larger than the previous one that I made, and it fits a little bit better. It's not quite so tight. So I'm just going to round this cape and then glue it on. I'm not going to fuss too much with the position. Sometimes I try to make the two pieces come in front very symmetrically, and sometimes I don't mind so much. And then I'm going to add a little metal accent to act as a button on the front. So there it is. So for this one, her white dress is a little bit long, and sometimes she doesn't stand up that straight, she tips over. So if you're finding that to be a problem with the ones that you're making, just trim down the dress. I usually like them a little bit longer. So I've cut two pieces of red felt to make two rectangles that I'm then going to glue together to give that peak that you typically see in a hood. And for a moment there I thought maybe I would just give her a bandana, but really if we want Little Red Riding Hood, we want her to have the hood that's so iconic in all the images that you see. So I'm going to put some glue on two sides, and it does kind of ooze out a little bit, so I can just trim that piece off, and then I kind of trim the other edges just to make it all even. Need to put a little bit more glue there on that piece there, and once this is all hardens in place, it holds up really well, so you don't have to worry about wear and tear from your kids. It will age nicely, actually. So I'm going to put glue on the outside of the hood, and then I'm going to hold it in place until it fully dries, and I kind of scrunch it up a little bit so that it's kind of gathered. And this was a little bit complicated. Like, my children couldn't do this part of the project on their own if they were copying this particular finger puppet. But the hood is larger on this finger puppet versus the other video that I have, and so it's a lot easier to put the hood on, and I actually like the hood kind of hanging off her head a little bit more, but because I didn't give her hair in the back or really on the top, I couldn't just have the hood kind of hanging off, like as if she was running and the hood fell off. I couldn't do that for this one, but as soon as I get more red felt, or maybe I could just do it with another finger puppet, I want to do one where the hood is just kind of fallen off the back of her head. But I had to make the hood go on this one because I did not give her enough hair. So I'm going to trim off the hair. It's going to be nice and long, but I didn't want it longer than her dress. And I'm going to add another layer of hair, but really I wish I had stopped here. I should have, remembered that in the previous finger puppet her hair had gotten too thick, but I'm going to give her one more layer here. But for this kind of a finger puppet where you're having a hood and you're having hair kind of come out from the side of it, it's better to have fewer strands. Otherwise, what I noticed is that there's so much hair around her face you can't even really see her face. And something typical of a Waldorf-inspired finger puppet is that you don't put any faces on so that it could be any expression. It just adds to the creativity when children are playing with finger puppets like this. If you have it too personalized, then you don't have as much freedom with creativity. And this is already quite specific, being that it's Little Red Riding Hood. Or it could really be any, finger puppet with a red hood, but in my mind I was thinking Little Red Riding Hood. So here are the pictures of Little Red Riding Hood in the little, I kind of staged a little area for my kids to play. And if you want to see the complete list or the complete playlist on our finger puppet videos, you can click here for that list. It's ever growing. I think there's probably 12 videos now. And as always, you can check out my website at Pepper and Pine for more pictures of these cute little finger puppets. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Why do I like smile? Because I can't see you like smile.